Okay, I'm recording. Okay. Now we are going to start the new chapter, income from salary. Okay. As we have seen in the introductory session, there are 5 sources of income under Income Tax Act 1961. That is income from salary, income from house property, income from business and profession, capital gains, and income from other sources. Okay. Now today we are going to talk about this is the fundamental. This is now the area where we are into the area of income tax calculations and rules and regulations. So henceforth you should keep your concentration full, and then only you will be able to understand. So our chapter is income under the head salary, or salary income we call it. Now this is the format you have to follow for calculating income from salary. This is the format you have to follow for calculating income from salary. Okay. Now salary, first part is basic salary, allowances, perquisites. Then we total it, we'll get gross salary, and from that we are going to have some deductions under section 16, that is in entertainment allowance and professional tax, and then you will come to know what is the total income from salary. So this is the format. So I'm again repeating. There is a format for computing income from salary. The first one is basic salary, the second one is allowances, then profit in lieu of salary, then perquisites, then you total 1 2 3 4, you will get gross salary. From this gross salary, some deductions can be are there, like one is a entertainment allowance and one is professional tax. So if you deduct from gross salary all the deductions under section 16 of income tax 1961, you will come to know what is your gross salary. Okay. Next one. So I am just giving a small example here. The example is like this. Okay. The example is like this. Now here I have taken a tentative example. So first one is gross salary. From that you have to from that to that you have to add all the perquisites, value of perquisites, then profit in lieu of salary. So you will get some 7,21,600. Then some allowances are exempt from tax. We'll speak in detail. Don't worry. I'm just giving the introductory part. So for some allowances which are exempted from tax are there, like travel allowance, travel allowance, house rent allowance, all that stuff we are going to deduct. And then you will deduct from this one. Okay, so you will get this figure. From this you are going to as I have already told in the last slide, that there is standard deduction available. So we will see whether standard deduction is available for the financial year 2019-20 or for the assessment year 2020-21. Then we have to deduct the entertainment allowance. Then any professional tax or any tax on employment we will deduct, and from these we will deduct this one, and you will get to know what is your income from salary. So this is another format, another example. So this is another example in front of you, the format. I wanted to give lot of formats so that I want to make your make the topic interesting. That was the reason. Okay, next one. So again okay, let me clear all these annotations. Okay, now basic salary is there. Now we will see what is basic salary in the subsequent slide. Basic salary, add to this one fees, bonus, commission, allowances, perquisites, retirement benefits. This is repeated. So you'll get gross salary. From this gross salary, you are having some deductions. Like already I've told these 2 deductions, and this is the format. Next one. So now we are going to the moving to a very important slide, which is in front of you. So the first is salary. So you are going to work in an organization. See, in India, mainly there are 2 types of income sources. One is you are going to work in an organization, or you are going to do a job. Sorry, you are going to do a job, or you are going to do a business. So to my knowledge, almost 60-70% of the population is employed and they are getting salary. So salary is there. So what do you mean by salary? When we are talking about salary, we have parts like this: basic salary, allowances, perquisites, and retirement benefits, and profit in lieu of salary. So in place of salary, there is a profit shared. So when I'm talking about salary, it is basic salary, allowances, perquisites, and profit. Who is going to give? The employer is going to give to the employee for whatever he has worked. The employer is going to give to employee. So for employee it is an income, and for the employer it is an expenditure. Please remember, employer it is an expenditure, and for employee it is an income. Okay, number one. Number two, why we are stressing on this particular point? Because for employer it is a business income. Business for him it is a business. For employee it is a profession, or he's doing a job. So when we are going to talk about the third chapter, income from business or profession, we are going to, all this will be expenditures for the employer. But now for the employee, this is a salary income. So that is the reason I'm stressing. So this all are expenses for the employer, and these are all incomes for the employee. This is the point. Next one. Now next one is no salary. Now you can ask me, sir, what do you mean by salary? What do you mean by allowances? All that stuff. So when I'm talking about salary, so salary is divided into many parts, but I'm giving some important parts here. One is allowance and one is perquisites. Now you have to understand the difference between allowance and a perquisite. You have to understand the difference between allowance and a perquisite. Now, when you are working in an organization, you are given a salary. Now, salary is not just one component. Salary has got so many components, like basic salary, as I already told, dearness allowance, dearness pay, so many other allowances, and other retirement benefits if you are retiring, and perquisites also. Let's understand what is an allowance and what is a perquisite, because it's very important, because there are at least 25 allowances which are given by the employer to the employee based upon the nature of the work, the nature of the work the employer and the employee is carrying out, and there are so many perquisites. Now let's understand what is an allowance. Allowance is paid in cash. First, one of the most important element of characteristic of allowance is it is paid in the form of cash, and it can be credited in a bank account. Now, so you are happy. If you are given cash, you are happy. So allowances are always paid in cash. This is the most important. Why they are paid, we will see subsequently. Now perquisites are not in the form of cash, not cash. ये कैश के रूप में नहीं देते हैं, but it is a kind of facility. It is a kind of facility provided by the employer to the employee, because there is an employer and employee relationship. I will give a small example. Only one example I will give. Please understand it. Now, here when I am talking about allowance, we can have medical allowance, which is a part of your salary, and it is for example, 500 rupees per month. So here the employer is giving to the employee 500 rupees per month for medical expenditure, and it is in the form of cash, or in the form of bank में जाके पैसा डिपॉजिट करता है सैलरी में. So सैलरी में एक पार्ट है अलाउंस, उसमें अलाउंस में एक पार्ट है मेडिकल अलाउंस. तो आप बीमार पड़ो, कुछ भी हो, आप बीमार नहीं पड़ो तो भी आपको 500 रुपया देते हैं. This is allowance which is paid in the form of cash. Now medical, in the same way, medical perquisite क्या होता है? Medical facility. So here the employer is not giving any cash to you or part of your salary, but he will tell that you go and check up in my hospital. If the company is having a hospital, He will tell, go and check up, get checked up, go and get your health checked in my hospital, and I will take care of all your expenditures. So have you understood now? Perquisite is not in the form of cash, but it is a facility. You can go and avail that facility. Whereas in case of allowance, it is paid in the form of cash. In the form of cash. Another example is medical facilities, government hospital. Government hospital is there. He will tell that if you are having any problem in the during the year, as far as your health is concerned, your health or your spouse health or your son's health or your daughter's health, go into the hospital, government hospital or private hospital. You get hospitalized, you get a medical facility, and you get all the bills. I will pay it. I will pay it on your behalf. So cash is paid directly to the hospital where you are getting hospitalized or you are getting treatment. So here cash is not given to you directly, it is given to a third party. So this is the difference between an allowance and a perquisite. Very, very important. Now we will go to the next slide. I hope you have understood the difference between allowance and a perquisite. Now you can look here. There is a difference between there is a further bifurcation of perquisite into two. One is monetary benefit and one perquisite, and one is monetary, non-monetary perquisite. So the hospital example is non-monetary, means you are not getting any cash into your hand. Whereas in this case, now reimbursement of taxi bill or reimbursement of restaurant bill or reimburse income tax bill. Your income tax is some 50,000 rupees. Your income tax is like 50,000 rupees. Your income tax is 50,000 rupees. So he will not give 50,000 to you. On your behalf, he will pay. So money is paid here. Money is paid. So this is called as monetary benefit. Whereas in this case, another example of non-monetary benefit is house facility or rent-free accommodation. We will see all this in the forthcoming classes. Okay. So I will go to the next slide. I will go to the next slide. Next one. Now, this is what are the items which are included when I am talking about salary? What are the items which are included when I am talking about salary? The items which are included in salary are, for example, when I am talking about salary में क्या क्या होना चाहिए? Wages, gratuity. So we'll talk about pension and gratuity subsequently in detail. Fees, commission. For example, salespeople. There are salespeople who are working and they achieve targets. So for achieving targets, they will get fees. Sorry, commission. That is also a part of your salary. Next one is fees. For example, you are a chartered accountant. You are coming to the organization and doing auditing work. For chartered accountant, there is no salary. For his, in this case, he will be paid fees. Or next one is another form of part of salary is perquisites. Already I told, allowances and profits in lieu of salary and salaries or wages. Next one is advance salary. For example, salary is not only salary paid for this month, salary can be paid of the next month in advance. So that is also a part of your salary and other things. Leave encashment. Now again, there is a separate topic on leave encashment. I will not discuss here. Just I will give you an understanding what is leave encashment. Leave encashment is nothing but, see, if you have worked for 12 months in an organization, you will get 15 days leave, which you can take it in between whenever you are not feeling well or for any casual purpose. If you have not availed all these 15 days, then it gets accumulated. For example, 7 days are accumulated, and for this, for 7 days you have not utilized, but out of 15 days you have utilized 8 days leave, and the 7 days are unutilized. So what you can ask the management, please pay equivalent amount of salary, 7 days salary. That is called as leave को encash करना, या leave का बराबर जितना भी salary है उसको पूछना कि दे दो. That is called as leave encashment. So this is also a part of your salary. Okay. Now next slide. I will not go to this. We will talk about this subsequently. Next one. Now very important again. Now what are the characteristics of a salary? Now characteristics of a salary are, for example, there should be an employer and employee relationship. For example, my father, I am working under my father. in domestic in my house. For example, I am serving him water or food. Is there an employer-employee relationship? No, there is no employer-employee relationship. You have to establish an employer-employee relationship. Then only it is called as employment. And for employment, you will be paid salary or wages or allowances or perquisites or commission or fees, whatever I have told just now. Okay, so you have to establish there is a employer-employee relationship. Otherwise, there is no employment. There is no employer-employee relationship. For example, salary income of a member of a parliament. So member of parliament है, MLA है, इनको salaries देते हैं. Now, do you think that government of India is their owner? No, cannot be specified as salary because it is received from the government of India, which is not his employer. So salary of a member of a parliament comes under income from other source. Please remember, very, very important. Salary for salary of a member of parliament is income from other source. It will not be under salary income, sorry. Next one. Okay, this I will leave. You can go it. Salary is received from the employer, whether one or more than one is included in the head. For example, Siddesh is there. Siddesh is working in Tata Motors from morning 6 to evening 3 o'clock, and then from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock he is working under a particular academic institution from where he is getting salary. So salary 1 from Tata Motors, salary 2 from academic institutions. All these two put together is this is the meaning. Salary is received from employer. There can be one employer or more than one employer. This put together we will aggregate and find out the salary income. Next one is salary can be taxable on the basis of due basis or receipt basis. For example, due basis means now we are just now we have completed July month. So today is the last day of July. So July 2020. July 2020, I have worked for 29 days out of 31 days. So I am supposed to get some 60,000 rupees as salary. So is it paid? No, it will be paid somewhere in the month of August 15th, for example. So even though it is not paid, because it is done, income tax Act 1961 tells that it can be taxed on the basis of due basis. You have already completed your work. You already worked for 31 days, but it has not been paid. But you are going to be taxed on the basis of due. Due hai, abhi bhi due hai. Next one is it can be taxed on the basis of receipt basis. Means what? For example, August, September, October, and November. There are 4 months, and for the 4 months, I am going to get 2,40,000 salary. Now, August has not started. September is yet to start, so on and so forth. Now, my daughter's school is going to open. And I have to pay fees of some 5 lakh rupees. My daughter's school fees has to be paid some 5 lakh rupees. Now I don't have money, so I will go and request my employer, my owner or my boss, please give me this 2,40,000 of salary of the forthcoming future months of August, September, October, and November. So this is I have received, for example, in this case, they have given me this 4 months salary to me in advance. So this is receipt basis. So it will be taxed in this year only, even though it will be in the next year. So this is receipt basis. Next one is arrears. For example, 2016 salary, some calculations were not done and some 50,000 were the arrears or backlogs, and they are paying this 2016 shortage amount or arrears in 2020 and some 50,000 rupees. So that 50,000 will not be reverse taxed in the year 2016. But when did you receive it? I have received in the year 2020-21. So it will be taxed for the financial year 2020-21 or assessment year 2021-22. So this is the way you have to understand the characteristics of a salary. Next one. So hope you have understood. Hope you have understood. Now we will take some more examples of salary. I will clear. Now salary means basic salary, fees and commission, as I already told to you, allowances, taxable value of cash allowances. Now your Here there is a word taxable. There is a word taxable. There is something called retirement benefits. Now basic salary. So for example, there is no big definition for basic salary. If for example somebody is working in the in Tata Motors, for example, in the account section as a junior accounts. So there is a salary band, we call it as basic salary. There is a salary band, basic salary, DA, and etc., and monthly, yearly increments. So basic salary is for this position. What is the basic salary? For example, for this position, the basic salary is 20,000 per month. So that is the meaning of the word basic salary. Next one is fees. Already I told. Commission I told. Bonus, Diwali bonus. Sir, Diwali आ गया, bonus दो. एक महीने का bonus दो, 2 महीने का bonus दो. So if there is a Diwali, on Diwali they will give 15 days bonus or 7 days bonus or 2 months bonus or 1 month bonus. So salary, fees, commission and bonus. Next one is taxable value of cash allowances. We'll see what is the meaning of the word taxable value of allowances in the subsequent classes or slides probably. Next one is taxable values of perquisites. Now we are going to talk about some more important aspects of retirement benefits. So while you are working in your organization, you will get all these things. While working in the organization, you will get all these things. But when you are retiring, you will not get all these things in the future because you are retired. But you will get something on the day of retirement or subsequent to retirement. For example, gratuity. We have something called as gratuity. Next one is pension. So these are retirement benefits. Or there is another thing called as leave encashment. Leave encashment. These are all called as retirement benefits. So a person who is retiring should not be worried about after his retirement what is his source of income. The government and the tax department, the government and the employer is taking care of you by paying gratuity, pension, and leave encashment. So we will all see the taxability of all these three things in the forthcoming class. Very, very important chapter है. आप लोगों को ये इसमें जिंदगी बनाना है. Next one. Next one is very important slide. Now hope you are able to see this. Very important slide. Now please look at this. So hope you are able to see. Okay. Hope you are able to see. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now we are going to talk about some allowances and how they are going to be taxed. So very, very important hai. Allowances are divided into fully taxable, fully exempt, and partly taxable. Allowances are basically divided into three parts: fully taxable, partly taxable, and fully exempted. बोले तो क्या, जब हम लोग प्रॉब्लम करेंगे आप लोगों को समझ में आएगा. अभी मैं खाली fully taxable कौन से है, what are the fully exempted ones, and what are the ones which are partly taxable, I'm going to talk. Please mute your audios because I am recording and I am putting on YouTube. So fully taxable there are some tax allowances which are fully taxable, like entertainment allowance. This particular allowance is given for the entertainment purpose of the employee. For example, the employee is there working in the organization in the middle of the night. So he will be given some food, snacks, etc., etc. So this is part of your entertainment. Next one is dearness allowance. Depending upon the dearness allowance is paid for compensating the inflation. Inflation is nothing but क्या बोलते हैं in हिंदी में word एक है. I am not able to recall it. Inflation. महंगाई बढ़ता जाता है तो सैलरी भी बढ़ना चाहिए ना. तो बेसिक सैलरी तो वही रहेगा लेकिन आपका डियरनेस अलाउंस बढ़ जाएगा. So dearness allowance is paid for inflation to compensate the increase. महंगाई दर, जैसा कि टमाटर बढ़ गया, टमाटर का भाव बढ़ गया 50 रुपये से 100 रुपया, तो आपका लिविंग क्या बोलते हैं महंगाई भी बढ़ गई है. Your expenses have increased. Your day-to-day expenses have increased. To compensate that, there is the company is going to pay you dearness allowance. Next one is overtime allowance. Overtime means you are working for 2-3 hours. For this, they are going to pay overtime allowance. Please remember one important thing. Commission is paid only once. Commission is paid only once if you are achieving the targets. If you're not achieving the targets, you are not going to get commission. But these things will be given on monthly basis. On every month, they are going to give you till the time you are working in the organization, based upon the number of days you have worked in the month, or days, based upon the number of months you have worked in a year. For example, you worked only for 9 months, you will not be given for 12 months salary. ऐसा ही है ना, 9 months काम करेगा तो 12 months का देगा क्या? नहीं. If you work for 9 months, you are going to get 9 months salary. Otherwise, they are not going to give you. For example, you have worked for only 26 days. So they are going to give only 26 days salary. Another example is, for example, you have started in the your career from 1st October 2020. So your salary will be from 2020 October. That is October, November, December, January, February, March. So 6 months of that year, there is an income which is going to be taxed. We are going to find out how much tax to be levied or not. So please remember all these things. Okay, next I am just clearing. So fixed medical allowance already I told. Now city compensatory allowance. City, there is a city called as Mumbai, there is a city called as Bangalore, there is a city called as Pune, and there is a city called as Nagpur, there is a city called as Nasik, there is a city called as Sangli. Now here and here, there is a huge difference. Bombay is a very costly city, where the standard of living is very high, the expenses per day is very high. So to compensate for the place where you are working, they will give you in your salary component something called as city compensatory allowance, to compensate for the city in which you are living, to meet the increased cost of living in cities. For here, the cost of living is only 10,000 rupees. For example, Sangli, the cost of living is only 10,000. But if you are working in Bombay, your compensation to be paid is 50,000 rupees. So city compensatory allowance is paid to compensate for the city cost of living or standard of living. Servant allowance, project allowance, tiffin allowance these are the allowances which are fully taxable. If you look at the nature of the allowance, you look at the nature. Tiffin allowance, for example, you are going into the company at 6 a.m. Now, can I assume that you are already having lunch and dinner and tiffin? No, you are not having all that stuff. So you are going to have your lunch, dinner, and tiffin at the workplace. So you are spending money. For this, they are going to compensate in something called as tiffin allowance, lunch allowance, or dinner allowance. So there are examples like this. Next one is another example. So we have seen some of the fully taxable allowances. Now I am going to talk about partly taxable allowances. Partly taxable, and special allowance. We have a separate discussion. There are 6 special allowances. We have a separate slide. I will show you. Now partly taxable allowances में एक है HRA. Now what is HRA? House rent allowance. House rent allowance. Now what is house rent allowance? Now, for example, Sakshi Ganekar is there. She got a job in Bangalore. She is from Pune. So abhi this is the situation. Sakshi Ganekar has got a job in Bangalore. She is from Pune. Now she goes to Bangalore, and in Bangalore she takes a house or a flat or a room. Flat or a room. So what is happening? Because of this? She has to pay extra amount because she has got a job in a different place. So she will go and ask the manager, sir, I am working in Bangalore, my native place is in Pune, and because of this I am spending extra on house. If I would have got a job in Pune, मेरा घर है तो मेरे को घर के लिए खर्चा करना नहीं पड़ रहा था, रेंट भरने की जरूरत नहीं था. So please pay me in the part as a part of my salary, even HRA also. So if you look at the word HRA, house rent allowance, house के लिए रेंट के लिए जो part of the expenditure देते हैं as a allowance, that is called as house rent allowance. So अभी इनको कितना मिल रहा है हाउस रेंट अलाउंस? 20,000 रुपया। अभी इनको बैंगलोर में जॉब मिला है, 1 लाख रुपए का सैलरी मिला है, और 1 लाख रुपए में इनको 20,000 आके हाउस रेंट अलाउंस दे रहा है एज अ पार्ट ऑफ सैलरी टू द एम्प्लॉय हु इज साक्षी। सो प्लीज रिमेंबर, नाउ पूरा का पूरा इसको मिला है क्या? नहीं। अभी क्या करेगी? आउट ऑफ दिस 20,000 रुपीज, सम 15,000 रुपीज she will go and pay to per month towards rent to the owner of the house. ओनर को जाके पे करेगी, तो बचेगा कितना? बचेगा कितना? 20,000 मिला, she got 15,000, 20,000, but she is spending for the house only 15,000. So how much she has left over? 5,000 rupees. So this is her income. This is what is going to be taxed, not the entire 20,000 rupees. Please remember, in this case it is fully taxable. Whatever you got, it is fully taxable. In this case only a part of it is taxable. A part of it is taxable. So we will look all this in the next the rules and regulations thoroughly in the next slide. Next one is fully exempted tax. Fully exempted. So I will give some examples, 1-2 examples, because these are not these are only for specified people. अलाउंसेस टू द हाई कोर्ट जज, हाई कोर्ट का जो जज रहता है, हाई कोर्ट का जो जज रहता है, उसको कुछ अलाउंस देते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, ऑफ हिज स्टेटस, बिकॉज ऑफ हिज पोजीशन। तो उसको समझो कि कुछ अलाउंस दे रहा है, सम 15,000 रुपया पर मंथ, which is allowance to high court judge. And the rule says, I am not telling this, neither you are telling this, the Income Tax Act 1961 tells that, and the Finance Act says that this whatever he is receiving should not be taxed, only should not be taxed, it should be zero tax. In the same way, compensatory allowance received by the judge and other things, you can ignore this because we only one judge is there. I am not going to file returns for this judge, and he knows which are the taxes which are exempted from tax. So this you should know, this part you should know, this part you should know, but this you can ignore because you are going to have only 1 or 2 judges, but employees are many who are getting house rent allowance. Next one. So I think you have understood this. Next one is very important slide. Once again, very important slide. I will clear all this. Next one is some allowances I have taken. Some allowances which are taken which are partly taxable, or there are some rules. Some rules are there for this. Some rules are there for this, which you have to remember. You do whatever you want to do, you do it, but you have to remember this. You have to by heart this. For example, judge can be having a child. जज को 2 लड़के हैं, तो उन दोनों लड़कों को पढ़ाई कराना है, तो एजुकेशन इज ए मस्ट फॉर दिस. So Mr. X is there and is having 3 children, and these 3 children have to be given education. So as a part of your salary, the employer is providing in the salary component children's educational allowance. So for example, myself, I am having one child. Okay, she is given for her education, our college or our owner, my owner is giving 500 rupees per month as allowance. So 500 per month he is giving. For 12 months he is giving 60,000 rupees. Sorry, 6,000 rupees. So calculations you have to take it. Now this is the income for me, but out of this I am going to spend something for her education by paying it in the form of fees to the school where she is getting educated or she is getting schooling. So the rule says that the employer can give whatever amount of educational children's educational allowance to the employee, but the rule is up to rupees 100 per month per child is exempted. What is the rule? The rule is 100 per month per child is exempted. So how much was receiving for the whole year? I was receiving for the whole year 6,000 rupees. For what? For this. But what is the rule says? This rule is by virtue of Income Tax Act 1961. The rule says that per child you have to give only 100 rupees. For 2 children you have to give 200 rupees, and only for 2 children it is the limit. You can't have more than 3 children for whom I can give this limit. So I have only one child, so one child के पीछे कितना exempted है? 100 rupees per month into 12 months is equal to 1200 rupees देना चाहिए था. तो मेरे को कितना दिया इसने, ओनर ने? 6000 rupees दिया. Actual received is 6000, but the rule says that this is exempted from tax. I received this one. This is my exemption from tax, and the remaining is 4800 for the year, which is fully taxable. This is taxable, not this one, because 6000 is what I have received. But exemption by Income Tax Act 1961 provides that up to 100 rupees per child to a maximum of 2 children. I got only one child, so 100 rupees per month per child for 12 months is 1200 rupees. What is exempted from tax? But I have received this much, so this is going to be taxable. Similarly, children's hostel allowance. So now my daughter is going to city and I am telling her to stay in a hostel. So there is an expenditure. For I have gone to my company and asked, sir, why don't you give me a children's hostel allowance? So the company can give anything, but the exemption is rupees 300 per month per child for a maximum of 2 children. We'll see while we are doing the problem how to tackle the problem. Next one is tribal area. Now this is not for every employee. For only, for example, police is working. For example, Naxalites area में काम कर रहा है, ट्राइबल एरिया में, जैसा कि जंगल में काम कर रहा है, पुलिस पेट्रोलिंग कर रहा है, या फॉरेस्ट वाला ट्राइबल एरिया में काम कर रहा है, तो इन लोगों को ही मिलेगा ये अलाउंस. तो कितना एग्जम्प्टेड है? 200 per month per child is exempted. 200 per month is exempted. We will see. So you need not remember this one, but you have to remember this. You have to remember this because only a few people are. You can't remember everything on the whatever is written in the book of income tax. So whenever there is a doubt, you can open the income tax book and tell or guide or give consultancy. Like for this case, it is 200 rupees per month, but 200 rupees per month is exempted. So these two you have to remember by heart. Next one is transport allowance. For example, what is transport allowance? For example, I am in Chinchwad and I am working in Wakad. Chinchwad and Wakad. So in the morning I get up and by 8:30 I reach my college at JSPM. So I move from Chinchwad to Wakad, which is 10 kilometers in the morning. Then after 4:30, after I am tired and exhausted, I will leave back to my house. So what is happening? Petrol का खर्चा हो रहा है. क्यों मतलब transport हो रहा है. Because of transport हो रहा है ना. Because of the nature of the work, I have to move from one place, my home to office and office to house. So I will tell my owner, sir, please give me transport allowance as a part of my salary. So he will give. For example, in this case, he may give some 5,000 rupees per month. So he may give 5,000 rupees per month. But the rule says that for an ordinary person, up to 800 per month is exempted from tax. तो इधर कितना दिया? 5,000 दिया. मेरे को कितना रूल के हिसाब से कितना exemption मिलेगा इनकम टैक्स से? इसमें से ये मेरा इनकम है. This is my income. So this income has to be taxed because income is on tax. But the expenditure according to Income Tax Act is only 800 rupees, or exemption from this is 80.